Parliament has vetted 2 nominees to the Supreme Court amidst disagreements on the powers of the President to solely decide on appointing more than 9 judges in addition to the Chief Justice. Now, according to the minority on the committee, the President's action of deciding to appoint beyond the maximum number without the involvement of Parliament is unconstitutional. There is more in the following report.
This view was expressed ahead of the vetting of Justice Sophia Banasco and Professor Richard Frimpong upon the President, in his request for the vetting of the nominees, noted that it was intended to cater for a vacancy that would be created following the retirement of 2 of the 15 justices who currently make up the Apex Court. Boko Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga, who is a member of the Appointment Committee, wondered what the President meant by vacancy, as the Constitution places the minimum number of judges for the Supreme Court at 10, including the Chief Justice. For him, the current number 15 surpasses the minimum, hence a retirement of 2 would not result in vacancy. He therefore challenged a practice where past presidents and the current president abrogate to themselves the powers of deciding to increase the numbers beyond the minimum 10 without recourse to Parliament. In his view, a careful look at Article 296 or 298 of the 1992 Constitution suggests that it is Parliament that can either make laws to regulate the increase in the number, or the President can only do so through laying a constitutional instrument in Parliament.
And I challenge anybody in this room to show me any provision in this Constitution that says that even though Article 1281 says 9 plus Chief Justice at the minimum and you don't have an upper ceiling, that the person to decide that upper ceiling is the President. Who said the person to decide that upper ceiling is the President? Who? Show me which provision.
The position received support from his colleague minority MPs on the committee, who pushed for an adjournment of the vetting until the concern raised was addressed.
All presidents probably may have eluded them. And someone has pointed out that something is wrong. I think it's only right that we listen to him, take an action, and then do this. Madam, on the basis of that, I move that this motion coming from Honorable Ayariga be taken and that we should vote on that matter.
But their colleague NPP MPs will have none of that.
Madam Speaker, I think for anybody to suggest that we should truncate the process and therefore wait for a determination of what the law says before we proceed is neither here nor there. And my senior colleagues knows that his suggestion, it's a wild one, for want of a better expression.
An attempt by the minority to push the issue to a vote led to a heated disagreement among members of the committee.
Way to proceed, because it's also not fair that you invite your nominees to come. Yes,
let's deal with the motion. Let's deal with the motion. Then we can continue. Let's deal with the motion. Then we can continue.
No,
I'm ready to start. No, Madam, brother, can I, Chairman? Yes, I can start. Chair. Honorable nominee, Chief Whip.
This forced the chair of the proceedings to suspend for further deliberations. The committee returned moments later to another drama, where the chairperson read a ruling on the matter dismissing the issues raised by Mr. Ayariga.
for emphasis, I rule that preliminary objection is hereby dismissed as same is without merit. Thank you very much.
The NDC MPs who thought that the approach by the chairperson was alien to the rules of Parliament resisted same. This prompted an intervention from the majority leader, who spoke as a friend of the committee, urging his side to cede to the request to put the matter to a vote. The vote ended in a tie, which was deemed as a loss to the NDC side, who moved the motion in line with parliamentary rules. This then paved way for the vetting of the nominees, starting with Justice Sophia Banasco. The learned judge was queried on her role on the bench, her views on how to reform the judiciary, and perceptions on Ghana's judiciary. The committee then vetted Professor Richard Frimpong Opon, who was queried greatly on an article he wrote on anti-LGBTQ+. After weeks of back and forth between the NPP and the NDC members on the appointment committee, the two nominees of the president for the Supreme Court have been duly vetted, and we are awaiting the committee to come out with its findings and report before plenary for the fate of these two nominees to be decided. Reporting for Channel One News, Hansen Acheman.